I'm studying marine electrotechnology in the National Maritime College of Ireland. It's a part of MTU. I'm a third year student, and the reason why I chose this course is because when I went to the open day in the NMCI, I was so overwhelmed by the prospects of a job at sea, and the idea of being an electrotechnical officer on board a ship was really, really cool for me. And it's also a course where not that many women work, so that attracted me too. I'm actually the only girl on my course, and there's very few girls who've ever graduated. So to get this far is obviously really, really important for me. And of course, the reason why I love it is because I actually get to do what I signed up for. I do work at sea. I spent 9 months of my college, of my third year, we'll say, working on an oil and gas tanker, sailing all over the world, performing maintenance tasks that I was told I would be performing in college. Before last year, International Women's Day meant very little to me, if I'm being honest. The reason for this is that although I am the only female or woman on my course in the NMCI, it never bothered me before, and I never looked at it as, oh, I'm the only woman. It was never a thing for me. I just got on with it, and but that changed last year. I was actually sailing on a liquefied natural gas carrier, LNG carrier, during the last lockdown actually, so it was in March. And my captain said to me, he said, "Do you want to celebrate International Women's Day?" And I said, I'm not sure. What do you mean by celebrate International Women's Day? He wanted to hold a dinner. He wanted to celebrate the fact that I'd, got this far in my career, even though I'm only starting out. And he really respected the fact and that I was a woman sailing on this ship in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by loads of men. And he wanted to, I guess, recognize my achievement as a woman in this career. So I think from then on, International Women's Day, it meant so much to me. It was the recognition that I had done this and I had got this far, and that I felt like I belonged in what I was doing. The fact that I was recognized for my work. So that's what it means to me. This was a really hard question for me because I thought I'm not really necessarily influenced or inspired by people. There aren't exactly many women I can look up to in this career or industry, especially engineering women. But somebody did stand out to me, and it's actually my aunt. My aunt works, she's a civil engineer by trade, but she works in renewable energy. She's got her own company and she is highly, highly successful in what she does. And to me, she encompasses everything about a woman in business or a woman in an industry like mine that's so male dominated. She encompasses everything that I wish to be. And when I think of my future, I think of it in the mindset of her. I look at her and I'm like, that's exactly who I want to be in the future, in my own way. But I want to be successful in what I do. I want to be respected by my peers and by my colleagues, who are going to be mostly men. And I do want to be respected as a woman, but I also want to be recognized as a woman. So I don't want to be seen as a hard person or a cold person. I want to be seen as just me, who is, happy go lucky sometimes, but very determined, very passionate. And that's exactly who she is. So we're alike like that. Of course, there's been challenges in this career, in this course, that I've had to overcome. Some have been easier than others, and other challenges have tried to, I guess, break me. But when I was in secondary school, I really wanted to be an engineer. I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know which kind of engineering, but I definitely knew I wanted to study something that was interesting, and heavy engineering is something I've always been interested in. So then when this marine course came up, I'm like, definitely that's what I want to do. But to do engineering, for me, I felt I needed to do physics. But my secondary school, all girls secondary school in the middle of nowhere kind of thing, it didn't do or didn't offer physics. So I had to walk to the boys' school every day, which was a little bit of a walk for sure. And there was a lot of pressure on me, a lot of people asking, do you really need to do this? Do you need to put all that pressure on yourself to walk down to the school every day, walk into the boys' class, that sort of thing? But it never fazed me. And I knew this was what I wanted to do. And I knew this was what I had to do in order to put my best foot forward when I did go into college. And then I suppose I faced much harder challenges when I did actually go to sea eventually, especially on my first contract, being away from home, working in such a male-dominated environment. It was very tough for me because they thought that I would be a certain type of woman when, I'm not. My personality didn't fit with what they wanted. And it nearly broke me, if I'm being honest, because it's that kind of environment where that's what they try to do almost when you don't conform, we'll say. But when I joined my second shift, I decided I was going to be me. That was how it was going to go. And it worked really well for me. I got on so well. And when I realized that this is what I wanted to be, I got people to respect me for me, like me for me. And it worked out really well for me in the end. So for me, a STEM subject obviously is traditionally a male-dominated mathy engineering career. That's what it is, and I suppose traditionally that's not what we're supposed to do. But I've always wanted to be an engineer. It's always what I've wanted to be. Always interested in maths and physics and science and how things work, I suppose. Fixing what's broken, not touching it if it's not broken. um, for me, if you're a woman and you want to study a STEM course, especially if you want to work at sea, don't play into the idea that you need to be some strong, tough woman who's got her life together, because it's not true. At the end of the day, in order to study a STEM course, you just have to be interested in it. And I think once you're confident in your ability to do the actual course at hand, everything else will fall into place.